Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Anthony was the oldest child during the events of Cobra Kai Part 4? If you haven't seen the previous parts, I would recommend you go watch them before continuing this one. So in this timeline, Johnny would try to reconnect with Robbie. So Johnny and Robbie would start to rebuild their relationship. Johnny wouldn't like that Robbie had trained Miyagi-Do all this time, but Robbie would tell Johnny that Danny was a good person and that Miyagi-Do helped him. But eventually Johnny would convince Robbie to join Eagle Fang, and those events would continue. Robbie would show up at Eagle Fang, and the Eagle Fang students would be surprised to see Robbie. And since Robbie didn't have a rivalry with the Eagle Fang students, Robbie would join Eagle Fang in this timeline, and he would start learning offense. Terry Silver would still come back in this timeline, and Cobra Kai would continue to expand and grow. Terry Silver put more funding into Cobra Kai, and it would become the biggest dojo in the valley. Terry would want to convince Chris to let them enter the Seikai Taikai, but Chris would say that I need to find some new champions. Since Miguel and Tori had gone with Johnny, this is when Terry would get the idea to call Sensei Kim down. So Sensei Kim down would still come to the valley, along with her senseis, and in this timeline, she would bring Yoon to be Cobra Kai's new champion. So Cobra Kai would start training for the Seikai Taikai, and those events would carry on. Anthony would continue training on Miyagi-Do. Robbie would want to convince Anthony to give Eagle Fang a try, but Anthony would hesitate, and he wouldn't know what Danny would think. So Robbie would go to Daniel, and he would want to convince Daniel to let Anthony train with Johnny. He would tell him how Johnny had changed, and that two dojos were stronger than one. And at first, Danny would hesitate, but he would trust Robbie's judgment. So he would let Anthony train with Johnny. So Anthony would show up at Eagle Fang, and the Eagle Fang students would be surprised to see him. Miguel would be mad to see Anthony, but Anthony would apologize to Miguel, and he would also apologize to Johnny. He would apologize for how they started off on the wrong foot. So Miguel and Johnny would decide to forgive Anthony, and Anthony would join Eagle Fang in this timeline, and those events would continue. The Seikai Taikai committee would still arrive in the valley, and they would want to go evaluate Cobra Kai. But this is when Johnny would show up, and he would want to convince the judges to let them compete. So each dojo was sought to pick a male and female fighter to represent the dojo. Eagle Fang would choose Miguel and Tori, and Cobra Kai would choose Yoon and Piper. And the night of the match, Miguel and Yoon would fight, and they would both be using offense, and they would be pretty evenly matched. But since the referee was still paid off, Yoon would defeat Miguel. The girls' match would begin, and much like Sam did in the original timeline, Tori would make every point undeniable, so Tori would defeat Piper in this timeline. So in this timeline, Eagle Fang and Cobra Kai would both qualify for the Seikai Taikai, and that is where I'm going to end part 4. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Anthony was the oldest child? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.